My daughter's wedding, her fiancé introduced me to his boss as an unemployed loser. His boss looked at him, smiled and said to the groom, "You're fired."
I'm standing here, in my rented tuxedo, watching my daughter, Sarah, a vision in white lace, glide toward the man she's chosen. My heart should be soaring, but it's a lead weight in my chest. The air is thick with the scent of lilies and the quiet hum of a string quartet, but all I can hear is the echo of a promise I made long ago. A promise to Sarah's mother, to give our daughter the world. I thought I had, but looking at my future son-in-law, Mark, I see a man who measures a person's worth in dollars and cents, a man who sees me as a liability. Little does he know, today, he will pay the ultimate price for his arrogance. 15 years ago, I was at the pinnacle of my career. I was the chief technology officer of a burgeoning tech company, on the verge of a multi-billion-dollar IPO. I had a beautiful wife, a brilliant daughter, and a life that felt limitless. Then came the diagnosis: my wife, Emily, had a rare and aggressive form of cancer. The doctors gave us a grim prognosis. The only hope was an experimental treatment, an astronomical cost that our insurance wouldn't cover. Without a second thought, I liquidated every asset, sold my company shares, and walked away from my career. The company's board was furious, but my choice was simple: my wife's life was worth more than any IPO. The treatment bought us 5 precious years, 5 years of making memories, of teaching Sarah to ride a bike, of reading bedtime stories, of feeling the warmth of Emily's hand in mine. They were the most beautiful and painful years of my life. After Emily passed, my professional life was in shambles. I had no savings, no assets, and a massive debt. I took whatever work I could get: delivery driver, a handyman, a cashier at a convenience store. Each job was a step down, a further humiliation. But I didn't care. My daughter Sarah was my everything, and I was determined to provide for her. Sarah, a straight-A student, got a full scholarship to an elite university. I was immensely proud, but the cost of her living expenses, her books, her everything, weighed on me. I worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs, often sleeping only a few hours a night. I hid the truth from Sarah. I told her I was consulting for various tech companies, a lie I repeated so often I almost believed it myself. Then, she met Mark. At first, I was charmed. He was handsome, well-mannered, and clearly adored her. He came from a wealthy family, a detail I tried to ignore, but one that Mark made sure to mention at every opportunity. He was a rising star in his company, a tech giant named Innovate Global. He was exactly the kind of man I had been, ambitious and successful. But over time, I started to see the cracks in his facade. He had a cruel streak, a condescending air toward anyone he deemed unsuccessful. He would often make thinly veiled remarks about people who don't work hard enough, or the lazy, always with a pointed glance in my direction. Sarah, blinded by love, never seemed to notice. She would simply say, "Dad, Mark is just very driven." My blood would boil, but I held my tongue. I had lost so much, but I wouldn't lose my daughter's happiness. My revenge would be patient, calculated, and delivered at the most opportune moment. I had been planning for this day for months. While Mark was climbing the corporate ladder at Innovate Global, I had been quietly buying up their competitors' shares, using every spare penny I had. I had also leveraged my old network, the very people who had once called me a fool. I had convinced them to help me. I was preparing a coup, a hostile takeover that would hit Mark where it hurt the most: his career, his pride, his very identity. The wedding reception is in full swing. The clinking of champagne glasses, the muted roar of conversation, and the soft melody of the band fill the air. I'm standing by the hors d'oeuvres table, trying to look comfortable in this expensive, suffocating suit. Suddenly, Mark appears, a beaming, self-satisfied smile on his face. He's got a man in tow, a tall, impeccably dressed man with silver hair and a piercing gaze. "Dad," Mark says, his voice dripping with forced enthusiasm, "I'd like you to meet my boss, Mr. Sterling. The CEO of Innovate Global." I extend my hand, a friendly smile plastered on my face. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Sterling." Mr. Sterling's gaze is sharp, assessing. He doesn't shake my hand immediately. He's looking at me, really looking, as if he's trying to place me. "Mr. Sterling," Mark continues, his voice lowering conspiratorially, "this is Sarah's father. He's sort of an unemployed loser. Lost his job years ago and hasn't really done anything with his life since. Doesn't even own a car. Drives a beat-up truck for his handyman gigs." The words hit me like a physical blow. The humiliation is searing. My jaw tightens. I glance at Sarah, but she's on the other side of the room, laughing with her bridesmaids, oblivious to her fiancé's cruelty. Mr. Sterling's expression doesn't change, but his eyes narrow slightly. "Mark," he says, his voice a low rumble, "is this true?" Mark puffs out his chest. "Yeah, Mr. Sterling. Pretty pathetic, right? But hey, he's family now, so I have to put up with it." My blood runs cold. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. I meet Mr. Sterling's gaze, and a flicker of recognition, a slow dawning, crosses his face. He's starting to remember. "Mark," Mr. Sterling says, his voice now a steely whisper, "what did you just call this man?" Mark laughs, a short, sharp sound. "An unemployed loser, sir. It's the truth. Mr. Sterling shakes his head, a slow, deliberate movement. He turns to me, his eyes now filled with something akin to respect, even reverence. "I think you're mistaken, Mark," he says, his voice now booming, commanding the attention of those around us. "This man is not an unemployed loser. This is Alex Sterling, the founder and former CTO of Sterling Tech. He was my mentor, the man who taught me everything I know. He sold his company to take care of his dying wife. He is a legend in this industry." A gasp ripples through the crowd. Mark's face goes pale. He stumbles back a step, his mouth agape, a look of pure terror in his eyes. He looks at me, then at Mr. Sterling, then back at me. He tries to speak, but no words come out. The color has drained from his face, leaving it a sickly white. "And as for you, Mark," Mr. Sterling continues, his voice now a cold, cutting blade, effective immediately, "you're fired. Get out of here. You have no place in my company, and frankly, you have no place in this family. A man who judges another based on his financial status has no integrity. You are a disgrace to the company, and I will not have you working for me. You are a vile, dishonorable man. And you will not be marrying into my family." My daughter, Sarah, who has now made her way over, looks from Mr. Sterling to Mark, then to me, a look of shock and confusion on her face. Mark, defeated and humiliated, drops his head, his shoulders slumping. He tries to speak to Sarah, but Mr. Sterling cuts him off. "He's fired," Mr. Sterling repeats, his voice leaving no room for argument. "For insubordination, for slandering a former colleague, and for his lack of character. I won't stand for it." The silence that follows is deafening. The music has stopped. All eyes are on us. Mark turns and walks away, his head down, shoulders slumping in defeat, a man whose entire identity has been stripped away in a single moment. Sarah looks at me, her eyes brimming with tears, not of sadness, but of a dawning understanding. "Dad," she whispers, her voice trembling, "is this true? You were a CTO?" I nod. "It's a long story, sweetie. I'll tell you everything." Mr. Sterling places a hand on my shoulder, a gesture of respect, of camaraderie. "You did the right thing, Alex. Always have. You have a good daughter. She deserves better than him." As the guests begin to murmur, I see the looks of admiration, of surprise, of awe. The unemployed loser is now a man of honor, a hero. I see my daughter's face, her pride shining through the tears. She hugs me, and for the first time in a long time, the lead weight in my chest lifts. I look at the empty space where Mark once stood. My revenge is complete. He is humiliated, his career is in shambles, and he is out of my daughter's life. I didn't just fire him, I taught him a lesson about true value, about the difference between success and character. I had lost everything once for love, and now, for that same love, I had gained back my dignity and my daughter's respect. As the music begins to play again, a different song this time, a celebratory one, I take my daughter's hand. We'll find her a better man. A man who understands that true wealth isn't measured in dollars, but in love, integrity, and the courage to sacrifice everything for the people you love. My daughter, my brave, beautiful Sarah, deserves nothing less. And I, her father, a man who once lost it all and now stands tall once more, will make sure she gets it. This is not the end of a story, but the beginning of a new one, a story of redemption, of a father's love, and of a life reclaimed. The end.
Asterisk. After listening to today's story, perhaps it has raised some new questions in your mind, or maybe it has brought back some old memories. Every day on Reddit, new experiences and moments create fresh stories, and they connect all of us. Everyone has their own unique journey in life, and we all try to understand the world in our own way. These kinds of moments remind us that we are all human, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, and always learning something new. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to share it with your friends. Your thoughts and feedback are always valuable to us, as they motivate us to create even better content. Every story has its own unique angle, and our goal is to understand everyone's perspective and make our content diverse and relatable. Stories like these help us realize that life's journey is different for everyone, and by hearing other stories, we learn something new. You can also share your own stories with us. Your experiences are valuable to us as well, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave your feedback. We aim to create content that brightens your mind and gives you new ideas every time. If you've already seen this video before, your feedback is still important. With every piece of feedback, we can improve our content and bring a new perspective to our viewers. Today, what we saw was just a small part of the many stories shared on Reddit and across the world. It's a reminder of how we all try to understand life by sharing our experiences with each other. This video was only an example of how we try to connect with others through storytelling, learning about different sides of life. We hope to continue sharing such stories that help us all learn and grow together. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to keep an eye out for more stories coming soon. If you haven't already, please like and follow for more amazing content. Your support keeps us going, and we will strive to bring you more thought-provoking and heartwarming stories. Until next time, take care and stay curious. Asterisk.